Hello, class of 2024. It's Mr. Baker. I'm representing the math department. It's a little strange giving this presentation this way, virtually, but I think everything is strange this year. So for our math department, we don't have as many electives for rising 10th graders. Most of our electives in our department occur with 11th and 12th graders, so they're mostly for the upperclassmen. I'd actually rather focus on the classes that you're in now and these pathways as to where you should go next year. Because I think it's extremely important for you guys to put yourself in the best possible position to challenge yourself next year as a 10th grader. So as a current 9th grader here at Putnam Valley High School, you should be in one of these three classes that I listed in red here. If you're in Algebra I, you're not slated to take the Algebra Regents this year. So we would hope all of you would go on to Algebra I-R next year. And hopefully you have a little bit of a background on this. So whether it's through your teachers or from your parents or from your guidance counselors. So if you're in Algebra I, it is our expectation you will go to Algebra I-R next year, which just means at the end of next year, you'll attempt that Regents exam. If it's a normal year, obviously. But in Algebra I, you're not on track to take the Regents this year, so we would hope that you'd go to Algebra I-R next year to take that Regents exam. That would give you 2 math credits at the end of Algebra I-R. One for Algebra I, second credit for Algebra I-R. If you're currently in Algebra I-R, which a lot of you are, the majority of the 9th grade is in Algebra I-R, you really have 2 options. If the class was not too overwhelming and you felt like it was the right pace, it's our expectation that you go right to Geometry R. If you felt like you were overwhelmed this year and you really kind of got buried, or you're a little scared of geometry, then you can go to what we call Geometry Topics. So the difference there is Geometry Regents, that's the R stands for. You have the Regents exam at the end of the year. Geometry Topics, you do not. So many of the things you study in Geometry Topics are similar, the same concepts that you study in Geometry Regents. You just you can slow the curriculum down a little bit. So the pace is slower, you don't cover as much curriculum, and there's no Regents exam at the end of the year. If you're in Algebra I-R and you're crushing it and you feel good about this year and you want to go to an honors level track, you can also go to Geometry H. That is an option. So make sure you do what's best for you, not necessarily what's best for your friend or the people that you hang out with, but think about your situation. If you felt like this year was a breeze in Algebra I-R, then you can go to Geometry H and get on track, to get on that honors level track if you want. Lastly, if you're in a geometry honors program this year with Mr. Mahoney, you basically have 2 choices. Stay on that same track and go to Algebra II Honors as a 10th grader. That will allow you to be on track to be an IB candidate, because as a junior, you'd go to IB year 1. The senior obviously would go to IB year 2. But if Geometry Honors was a little overwhelming and it was a little too much, you can back it off a little bit and just go to an Algebra II Regents class. That will still allow you to be on an IB diploma track. Whether you're in Algebra II or Algebra II Honors as a 10th grader, you're still on track to get that IB diploma. You just have to get through the Algebra II curriculum as a 10th grader to be on track to be an IB diploma, to be an IB candidate, excuse me. So think about your situation. If you're in Geometry Honors this year and you feel good about it, you want to stay right on that same track, easy decision, stay on that Algebra II Honors. If you want to back off, the rigor level a little bit, then you can go to that Algebra II Regents and still be on track for an IB diploma. If you are in Algebra I-R this year and you're thinking you want to be an IB diploma candidate, you can still do that. It's not impossible. So what many students, I have about 10 students that are doing it this year. What many 10th graders can do is they take 2 math classes concurrently. So you can take Geometry R and Algebra II-R as a 10th grader. Yes, it's 2 math classes in your day, but we have about 10 or 11 kids doing it right now, and they're doing okay with it. So if it's your goal to be to get that IB diploma, think about doubling up in math. Think about taking geometry and algebra 2. Again, that's not for everybody. I don't recommend a lot of kids doing that. I don't recommend the majority of the grade doing that, but it is certainly an option if you felt like you missed out as an 8th or 9th grader and you still want the chance to get back on track for that IB diploma. So taking Algebra 2 and geometry concurrently is certainly an option for you. Your math teacher has made a recommendation for you as to what class they think is the best fit for you this year. Now understand the best fit for you for next year. Now understand it is a little trickier this year because some students we don't see at all. Some students we only see once or twice a week. So ultimately that decision as to what math class you take is up to you next year. What your math teacher put is just a recommendation, but I encourage you to converse with your math teacher. Ask them, hey, Miss Sullivan, what did you recommend for me for next year? Oh, okay, why do you recommend that? Do you think I can handle this? Do you think I can handle taking 2 of those math classes? Have a conversation with your math teacher about what the recommendation was and why they recommended that for you, And in that way, moving forward as a 10th grader, you can put yourself in an even better position to learn mathematics and put yourself in the best possible position to challenge yourself. And that's what we want to do. We want you to be in the best possible position to learn mathematics. But obviously you need to be in the right place. It's not our decision. It's not your guidance counselor's decision. It's not your parents' decision. Ultimately, you have to think about yourself and what is the best place for you in terms of a math class for next year. So please have that conversation with your current math teacher. Building those social skills is a good thing as well. Be curious as to why they placed you where they did, and don't be afraid to go further in depth with that conversation. Okay, if you guys have any questions, I am in room 317, or you can email me at any time. You also have your own math teachers, you have your guidance counselors, you have a lot of resources here to help you make these decisions for next year as to what classes are best for you. So take advantage of that. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. Feel free to ask me any questions at any point. And good luck with this process.